So this tutorial is going to show you how to make a symbol to animate. So we want a new action script 3. Zoom up if you need to. I'm going to 200%. And we have our timeline down the bottom. We have our properties and library here. We have our tools over here. Move them wherever you want. Doesn't really matter. In properties, if you click on stage, you can change the background to any color you want as well, just FYI, but let's just leave it at white. And to create a symbol that's going to animate, you simply go up the top here to insert new symbol. And you can call it whatever it is. We're going to draw a butterfly. So call it that and make sure that the type is graphic. Sometimes it's on movie clip by default. We want it to be on graphic. Press OK. So now we're in the editing room. It is a separate area. It looks exactly the same as the stage, which is in scene 1. But it's a separate area with its own layers and its own functions. You can see our library there. If we wanted to go back to the scene, we click back here. And you can see in my library where it says butterfly, we haven't done it yet, but that's where it is if I want to go back to edit it or create it. So back to the scene up here, double click on the shape icon to get into that editing station. So we're going to draw a butterfly. So we just want to pick the color that you want. If I'm using my paintbrush tool, I need to choose a stroke color. So I'm going to make blue. And we're going to, we're on our first keyframe and layer 1. And it's an empty circle, which means there's nothing there. So as soon as I draw on this, and if you want to make your paintbrush bigger, you can do that in this button. Or a shortcut is the brackets to the right of the P key on your keyboard. So I can click that, make it bigger or smaller. Or go over here and do it. I'm just going to draw open butterfly wings. Not worried about making it too perfect. Do the other wing. Now, if you make a mistake, like that, you can just go Control Z and undo it. I suggest you do the wings in small, if you're unsure of how to do it separately. And if you want it to be perfectly symmetrical, so that's not very symmetrical, you can get your black arrow, click on that green or whatever line color it is and go Control C, which is copy, and Control V. So you can see that's copying it. And then with your free transform tool, you can click and switch it around to the other side and move it. Or you can just draw it. It doesn't really matter. I'm just showing you some ways to do it. There you go. It's pretty symmetrical. If you want to color it in and do little effects, we're going to do that later. We're just going to do the very bare basics. So just the wings open. Don't make it fancy yet. So that's our open butterfly wings. And you can see the circle down here in the timeline is colored in. So click on the second frame, right click, and go insert blank keyframe. So it's like adding a blank piece of paper over the top. And we can't see our butterfly anymore. Because we want to edit over the top of this butterfly, we need to make this this frame, the paper, if you want to call it paper, we have to make that see-through. So down here you've got onion skin or onion skin outline. So choose one of them. I think I'm just going to go with onion skin. You can see I can see the faint outline of the butterfly on key frame 1. The outline does the same thing except it's like a blue outline, as you can see. So it just tells me where my butterfly was and where I need to draw if I want to do the next frame. So I'll get my paintbrush again. And this one I want to create the illusion that it's flapping. So I need to draw my wings taller and skinnier. like that. And I'm not going to copy and paste it this time again. Just going to wing it. Pun intended. Alright, so we have 2 keyframes, one open, one closed. So I don't want it to be onion skin anymore, so I'm going to click onion skin off, and I'm going to press play. Now, it's only going through it once. I want it to loop and loop and loop and loop and loop around. So this little button here, the arrow going around, that's the loop. So I click on loop, press play now, and it's flapping. It's flapping really, really fast because it's on 24 frames per second. So I'm going to change it to 12. Press play. Yay! So now that we've done the bare outline, we can fancy it up a little bit, and I suggest doing it color by color. So with the inside, I'm going to, what color am I on? I'll keep it on the green spectrum. Going to just paint in each keyframe color by color. So if I'm doing, Control Z, no, I'm going to not do that. I'm going to do yellow. Greeny yellow. Actually, I might use that tool. So this is a paint that's quicker, much quicker. Love that. I'm going to do that on this frame too. So remember, color by color. It's much quicker this way, trust me. Okay, back to the first one, and I'm going to do a, so see how that's got little dots everywhere? If I click on a color, it's going to change it. So I need to get my black arrow and just click on the white area and it deselect. So when I change color, it's not going to ruin and change my butterfly. I'm going to go for a bit of red, maybe a bit of a dot here, and do that on here as well. Remember, you want to kind of skew it a bit. It shouldn't be exactly the same. Oopsies. Back on the first one again. What am I going to do on the top? See, it's got the dots over it, so I'm going to deselect again, change my color. Maybe I'll go for a, I don't know, purple, no, blue, whatever. Make my thing bigger. Go to my second as well. Hopefully yours won't do that, but my mouse isn't very good. And the last thing I'm going to do is the body. Deselect again. The body inside. I'll make that a tanny brownish colour. You can make it whatever colour you want. Oh, rubbish. Okay, that's not working. I'll use my line tool. No, don't want to work. There we go. It's blue. I don't want it to be blue. It's not working. Maybe it'll work. Yeah. Anyway, you can do antennas. My mouse pad is being mean. But let's play now. Yay! So that's how you make a symbol. You can add, I suppose if you wanted to add more flaps that were a bit more gradual, you could do that here. But this isn't on the stage yet. If I want it on the stage, I go to the scene. My butterfly's over here. Drag it on. There you go. Now if I press play, it's not going to do anything because it only has one keyframe and this is 2 keyframes. So if I want any sort of animation, it has to at least be 2. So if I add, let's just say it's going to go for up to 40. So insert keyframe. It's all nice and smooth. That's my loop. I'll take it off loop. And you can see if I go from 1, now if I press play, it's going to flap.